For today's cup of coffee, we're going to be educational and shit.
It is.
Yeah, we're multi-talented.
Hi, welcome back to 5th grade science class.
Actually, it's more than that. It really is. It's a little, well, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see.
You're right, it's 6th grade.
Possibly. It's a reminder is what it is. And from Daily Star, they had an article that was on May the 19th by Harry Thompson, and he had reported that there was a campground in Germany that they had a lightning strike at the campsite. 38 children had to be taken to the hospital, and another 700 people had to be evacuated.
Damn. But nobody died, right?
No, to my knowledge, nobody died from the incident, which was a blessing.
Yeah.
But a lot of times that people don't, they because that thunderstorms are so common, they sort of misjudge them. And so we're going to go over a little bit of the do's and the don'ts on this. Anyhow, it said that the violent the is understood to have passed over this district and reportedly struck the tent camp of the youth fire brigades. So I don't know. I mean, it was just a camping trip, a very large camping trip and stuff. Uh-huh. And so, if anybody has ever heard of cattle, and this happens sort of frequently, that there's different types of lightning, and it's living beings can act as conductors. And that's a lot of times what happens with cattle if they are in close proximity to one another. And I'm sure it happens with other livestock also.
Yeah.
That it jumps from animal to animal to animal.
Well, that's because we're a certain percentage of water, and water itself is a conductor?
Sure. So, we've got some fun stuff from NOAA that we're going to be showing you here in just a moment, but I wanted to go over a couple of these other things.
Yeah.
And NOAA actually did do a good job with these pages, and I will try to leave the links. Hopefully they'll let me. It's a weather.gov. So I don't think that the YouTube will have a problem with that.
Yeah.
And NOAA is the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
Mm-hmm.
And they've broken my heart before. They really, but we won't go into that today.
That's true.
And as far as lightning, it says what you need to know. No place outside is safe when thunderstorms are in the area. If you hear thunder, lightning is close enough to strike you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you hear the thunder, immediately move to safe shelter, a substantial building with electricity or plumbing, or an enclosed metal-topped vehicle with the windows up.
Oof.
Stay in safe shelter at least 30 minutes after you hear the last sound of thunder. See, now, I know I've not abided by that before.
Well, neither of us have. I didn't even know that was a rule, like stay in 30 minutes after you hear the last clap of thunder. Didn't know that.
Yeah. And as far as when you're indoors, and you sit there and go, that's why she said that. Because there's a lot of times I'm like, would you get away from that? Because I was taught that. Now, my grandmother...
Don't be in the tub, and we got a steel tub.
Oh, God, yes. Yes, we have a cast iron tub. So that is not where you want to be in any kind of storm. It says that stay off corded phones, computers, or other electrical equipment that you have put in direct contact with electricity.
Okay, what if it's like a wireless keyboard?
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
So cell phones are fine too?
Yeah. Yeah. And it says avoid plumbing, including sinks, baths, and faucets.
Okay.
So that is not the time to be in the kitchen piddling around. It's not the time to be in the bathroom unless, if you had to go, you had got to go.
Yeah.
but you taking a risk on
But
that.
you know there are some people that love to take baths during thunderstorms.
Well, that's kinda
baths or
silly.
showers.
That is silly. And it says, stay away from windows and doors and stay off porches.
Neither of us have abided by that last one there.
No, we haven't. And it says, this is interesting. Do not lie on concrete floors and do not lean against concrete walls. Now, I couldn't find a thorough explanation for that. I don't know. But, we've talked before. If you put a battery, like lawnmower battery or car battery or something, on a concrete floor, it will drain that battery.
It will. Which is, you wouldn't think that it would. Maybe it has some sort of metal in it or something.
I don't know. There's some kind of composition in concrete, apparently, that does affect electrical whatever. Mm-hmm. And then it says, last resort outdoor risk reduction tips. And if you're outside with no safe shelter anywhere nearby, the following actions may reduce your risk, which is immediately get off of elevated areas such as hills, mountain ridges, or peaks. Never lie flat on the ground. We'll get to the why in a minute. Never shelter under an isolated tree. Never use a cliff or rocky overhang for shelter. I mean, if you're up on a mountain, what are you going to do? I guess if you can find a cave, that would probably be better.
I've been up on a mountain during the lightning storm before. It's scary.
Well, that's why you have to try to plan ahead on some of these things. Look at the forecast, but some of these, if you get one of these weather systems that's just a sudden sail, and those things can develop very rapidly. That's why it's always good to have, like I said, some kind of weather app or something handy.
Let me tell you something. When being up there in that cabin, when it's storming, like absolute storming.
But that was still a dwelling. That's not like you were outside. Well, yeah.
It spooked me, and I'm like, oh, fuck. And it was still raining of the morning. I'm like, well, I'm stuck here.
But you were in a dwelling. It wasn't like you were just out on the side of a mountain someplace.
I mean, I was out on the porch at one point.
Well, yeah.
That was my stupidity.
Yeah, well. And immediately get out and away from ponds, lakes, and other bodies of water. And now I have seen people that'll do silliness as far as either fishing or boating or anything like that in a storm, or even swimming, and it's like, no. Now, when we used to go to the beach, that was one of the things that immediately, I mean, you could sit and you could watch. You could usually see before the storms when they were coming.
I mean, as soon as you see those clouds rolling in, you head back to the hotel.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And it says, stay away from objects that conduct electricity, such as barbed wire fences, power lines, windmills, etc. And then on this other thing, let's see what I had over here. It was interesting. It says that lightning is one of the most underrated weather hazards, and every single thunderstorm is a potential killer, whether the storm produces one single bolt or 1,000 bolts.
Right. And see, as far as being on the computer and stuff like that, I had no idea. No idea you weren't supposed to be on, like...
It's electric.
Yeah, but...
It's electric.
It's not like you're touching the tower the whole time, unless you got your feet stuck on it.
How many times did I told you it's like unplug something? If there was a severe something, what do? We unplug stuff. We've got it on surge protectors, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it says each year in the United States, lightning kills 20 to 30 people on average and injures hundreds more. Dude. Tornado, hail, and wind gusts get the most attention, but only lightning can strike outside of the storm itself. It's the first, it is the first thunderstorm hazard to arrive and the last to leave. And I was trying to see here on this one thing. I know that it's had detailed, if I can find it. Like I said, they had several pages for this. Mm. But they said that it could strike, here it is. Lightning can strike more than 10 miles away from the location of the rainfall. 10 miles.
Damn.
Somehow I was
Damn.
thinking it was a mile, but no, 10 miles.
Shit. So everybody within a 10-mile radius needs to like get the fuck inside.
Well, you need to be aware of the weather that's in your area.
Right.
And so, that's impressive.
It
And
is.
it's like,
Look, a little
only
dude.
you can prevent your ass from getting struck, is basically what this one page is saying. For real. And it's like, have some sense. And a lot of times people don't. And on this one page, they have got, even as far as plan ahead, like small groups.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that everybody needs to think about. I mean, you had all these people here. What was it, 700? Yeah, 700.
Yeah.
That's a large group of people.
Yeah, that is true.
But you need to have a plan, which I'm sure that they didn't think about it. And to make sure that there is some place that you can shelter.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these large open air, whatever, that they've got festivals or concerts or, sporting events or anything like that. So if there's a thunderstorm, that could be really scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, we've had lightning hit pretty close to the house before.
yeah, to where it rattled the windows.
Yeah.
And that's,
The thing is, if you're in bed and you got your bed right next to a window, that's like, oh shit.
yeah, that's where you sort of get in the corner and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it says that, on this, where was it? Lightning is hotter than the surface of the sun and can reach temperatures around 50,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
Well, it's completely fried people. It's blown
Yeah.
the soles of their feet out.
Yeah. Which is just crazy. It is crazy. And now on this next one, I'm going to try to record and show you. These animations I thought were great.
They're so cute. They're
They,
funny.
they really are. So I'm going to have to try to. I can't do the split screen thing on this.
It reminds me of shit that you would see on Newgrounds back in the day.
It does. I mean, it's funny. Now, what we're looking at and have been showing you is a direct strike. According to this, there's 5 ways that lightning strikes people.
Gets struck and he's on the ground.
Yeah, it says a direct strike. They are hit directly by the lightning. And there was actually one guy that I heard one time that he had been struck by lightning more than once and had lived to tell. I mean, he had some damage.
He had some bad luck.
Yeah, and I thought, this is not a person that you want to be near during a storm at all, ever.
Well, you know how The Sims is supposed to be like a life simulator type thing? Mm-hmm. That's one of the deaths in it, is your sim can get struck by lightning. It's an extremely rare death, but it does happen. I've had it happen before. They got
Sims.
fried.
Well, it says that direct strikes occur to victims who are usually in open areas, and direct strikes are not as common as other ways people are struck by lightning, but they are potentially the most deadly. In most direct strikes, a portion of the current moves along and just over the skin surface, and that's called flash over, and a portion of the current moves through the body, usually through the cardiovascular and or nervous systems.
Yeah.
The heat produced when lightning moves over the skin can produce burns, but the current moving through the body is the greatest concern. While the ability to survive any lightning strike is related to immediate medical attention, the amount of current moving through the body is also a factor. But this is one of those things, you don't want to have to deal with that if you don't have to.
Yeah, talk about a factory reset.
Yeah, really. Let's see. I'm going to find out which way my little thing goes here. All right, and then we're going to go to the side flash. See, I've learned things. Like I said, we be educational and shit.
Yeah.
Side flash, also called a side splash, occurs when lightning strikes a taller object near the victim and a portion of the current jumps from taller objects to the victim. In essence, the person acts as a short circuit for some of the energy in the lightning discharge. Side flashes generally occur when the victim is within a foot or two of the object that is struck. Most often, side flash victims have taken shelter under a tree tree to avoid rain or hail. So electricity is an interesting beast.
It's spooky.
It is spooky because it's like fire. It has I guess it is a form of fire to a degree.
But yeah, I mean, it's almost got a life essence of itself.
It is. And it's one of those, we still don't understand it totally. Coffee slurping coming. Oh.
I mean, that's basically what, like, for example, if a generator exploded and started shooting sparks, that'd be like lightning in a way, but would it be like a lower voltage? Except it would be man-made lightning.
Ask me that one more time. I was trying to get the next.
So, you know, like the power generator things, like there's one like down the road a little bit from us.
Okay.
Those big
like
metal
the transformers?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, the transformers. If one of those explodes and it starts shooting sparks and all that, would that be a form of like man-made lightning, or would it be a lower voltage?
Well,
and someone got struck by one of those volts.
Well, the electricity that goes through our homes, and I am not an electrician, so I'm just going to wing this to try to answer Kid's question. It is a matter of harnessing lightning, sort of, to take it into our homes. That's why you have all these insulation and stuff like that. And the transformers, it is a matter of a junction that it carries a whole lot of electricity, and then it can branch out to different homes and stuff like that. It is a matter of harnessing lightning.
Okay.
But any of those you never touch a live wire. If you don't know what you're doing with electricity, leave it alone. Call a professional.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. If, like, for example, someone touches a live wire or gets struck by, like, a malfunctioning transformer, is that going to be the equivalent of someone getting struck by lightning?
Similar. I would say that the damage that it would do to a human being would be very similar. That's the reason that the folks who work with, the electrical everything, that they have, as far as their boots have to be a certain, everything, all their equipment has to be designed for them to wear for their safety, to avoid them getting electrocuted.
Yeah, a lot of it has to be like really heavily rubberized and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's like tools and stuff like that. That just get the ones that have the rubber grips, or that you actually can get. It's a rubberizing liquid that you can, if you buy like pliers or whatever it is, that you can put a rubberized something on them. Mm-hmm. And the one we're showing you now, maybe, let me look, maybe, this is ground current. And when lightning strikes a tree or other object, much of the energy travels outward from the strike in and along the ground surface. This is known as the ground current. Anyone outside near a lightning strike is potentially a victim of ground current. In addition, ground current can travel in garage floors with conductive materials. I'm not sure. Some people have like rebar and stuff in their, just in the design of where the concrete is poured over it.
Right.
To prevent the concrete from settling and all that stuff. That may be one of the reasons that if you put a battery down, that it's the combination of the rebar and the concrete. Maybe
that's what it is. Because I honestly forgot that there's rebar in concrete a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's because we've never been around them pouring concrete often.
Yeah.
And it says that, here it is, because the ground current affects a much larger area than the other causes of lightning casualties. The ground current causes the most lightning deaths and injuries. Ground current also kills many farm animals. Typically, the lightning enters the body at the contact point closest to the lightning strike, travels through the cardiovascular system and nervous systems, and exits the body at the contact point farthest from the lightning. The greater the distance between contact points, the greater the potential for death or serious injury. Because large farm animals have a relatively large body span, ground current from a nearby lightning strike is often fatal to livestock. And it can jump. It's not just that it can jump. because people have seen it.
Put your cows in a barn.
Yeah, I mean, of course, if you've got, and it's just showing the little dude where his body has become conductive, so he's picking up the ground current on that.
Yeah.
I love these animations. I thought they were great. I had waited for days to share these with you all. The next one is conduction, and it said lightning can travel long distances in wires or other metal surfaces. And metal does not attract lightning, but it provides a path for the lightning to follow. I thought that was very interesting for them to say lightning does not attract. I mean, metal does not attract lightning.
Right.
You would think that it would.
You would think, because it'd be like holding that up in the sky, and it would be like an easy way of getting shocked.
Well, that is because you're making a higher target.
Huh.
Yeah. And it says...
but if you're just holding it like by your side...
Don't be out. Now, we've already discussed this. Don't be out where it's lightning.
Well, that's common sense 101.
There's a lot of people don't have common sense anymore. It says, but the metal does provide a path for the lightning to follow. Most indoor lightning casualties and some outdoor casualties are due to conduction, whether inside or out. Anyone in contact with anything connected to metal wires, plumbing, or metal surfaces that extend outside is at risk. This includes anything that plugs into an electrical outlet, water faucets and showers, corded phones, and windows and doors. So that basically it's a pathway.
That makes a lot of sense.
That does not mean that you have to hide under the bed. No, that's not what we're talking about.
Make sure you're not on like a metal frame bed.
Yeah, I mean, I've wondered about that before. I have wondered about that.
We're both on metal frame beds.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit.
And then this last one was interesting, and it's called a streamer. It's a different kind of streamer. Of course, I don't know, some of those...
It's a live streamer instead of a live streamer.
It says, while not as common as other types of lightning injuries, people caught in streamers are at risk of being killed or injured by lightning, and streamers develop as the downward moving leader approaches the ground. Typically, only one of the streamers makes contact with the leader as it approaches to end the ground to provide the path for the bright return stroke. I'm getting into electronics here, and I need a schematic.
Yeah.
I don't have a schematic. It's what I got. It's little dude being struck by lightning here. It says, however, when the main channel discharges, so do all the other streamers in the area. If a person is part of one of the streamers, they could be killed or injured during the streamer discharge, even though the lightning channel was not completed between the cloud and the upward streamer.
Oof. Damn.
And I had forgot to mention, I'll go back, and since I've got that one now, on this one about the conduction, the picture that they're showing is dude walking along like a fence line. And that has occurred in this area before.
Yeah.
As far as somebody, that if there was an electrical storm, I know that there was somebody, as far as getting out to open or close a metal gate, or being on a tractor.
And getting zapped.
Yeah. Yeah, and they killed them. Yeah, I have known of people, in fact, I think there was a guy that I went to school with, and it happened many years ago, that he was on a tractor and was struck. And
damn.
Yeah, it's some serious shit.
Yeah.
And what they didn't, because it's NOAA, there is such a thing. They've been doing a lot of research that there is also ground to cloud lightning. Yeah.
Do what? Ground to cloud? Like it's
Yes.
going upward instead of down?
Yes.
Huh?
And there is
How
the
does that work?
possibility that there is different places on our planet that holds electrical charges, and it discharges. I've always wondered, as far as different types of stone, this will be a question for Blue, whether granite has a tendency to conduct electricity more, because most people don't think about rocks conducting electricity.
Well, like limestone, that is like a conductor of sorts.
Well, there's people that are studying that, and that really wasn't That wasn't part of our presentation, but I do know that there is ground to cloud lightning that has been observed. There are sciences, whether NOAA says anything about it or not, they're just trying to hit the high points on this.
Right. Okay.
To try to keep people from getting struck needlessly. And then good for them. I mean, honestly, this is stuff that people need to know.
It is.
A lot of us forget these things. We take this stuff for granted. And, yeah, everybody has derp moments. And sometimes those derp moments can cost you dearly.
Yeah, that's like us going out on the porch during one of those storms and then going back in. And we have a metal door that we have to go through first.
Well, that's one of those that, as far as just standing there in the stairwell and smoking instead of going outside.
Yeah.
I mean, so what if the house stinks for a day or two? Yeah.
It airs out quickly.
Yeah, it does. Any questions? Because we got a lot of people, this is the time of year that people start camping and doing different things like that. And, you know, I have never been camping when it was a severe storm.
If they are camping, how do they stay safe?
The best thing to do, you know, if they have hiked into an area, first of all, always be alert, you know, that you need to have some kind of weather app or something with you all the time that you can make sure, you know, what kind of weather is coming into the area. Mm-hmm. If they have hiked into an area, then they need to get to most of the trails and stuff, unless you're way back up in the mountains, have some kind of ranger station or shelter or something like that. Not a picnic shelter. Do not go under one of those.
No, those aren't safe enough.
And they usually have a concrete floor.
Yeah.
But a vehicle would be the thing to do if they, you know, drove in there. Yeah. But
most vehicles now, they don't really have a metal top, I don't think.
Well, and
it's
no, I mean,
fiberglass. It may have like a metal type frame, but it's not like pure metal top.
Well, that's the thing. Part of it is the frame, and it's going to act as a ground, and it's going to the lightning. Plus, you've got the rubber on the wheels.
Okay.
And it's just going to act sort of like a cage.
Okay,
and
like a Faraday cage.
Sort of. It's going to direct the current around you instead of through you.
Okay.
But that would be the best thing to do. Like I said, just plan ahead, check the weather all the time. Mm-hmm. Because in some of those areas, especially flatland, those storms can come up so fast.
It's true. That is true.
Yeah. So
there's some type of dude who actually like works with electricity and stuff like that. And I don't remember what his name is on YouTube, but he's funny. I've had you watch a few. Mm-hmm. He gets shocked quite a bit, purposefully so.
But he actually is very, very knowledgeable. He acts foolish, but he does things to show some of the stupid shit that people do.
Yeah. He shows what not to do.
Yes. And, that is not a fun thing. I was telling you the other night, years ago, it was a matter of being in the kitchen, and it was a severe storm, and having a piece of aluminum foil, or whatever the hell it is that we have now, in my hand, mm-hmm. and that just the power of the storm.
And it shocked you.
It did shock me.
Just like, ah!
Yeah.
Did you let go immediately?
It was just, I was sort of stunned. And for anybody if you have never experienced an electrical shock before, they're not fun.
No. I got zapped by an electric fence once.
Yeah.
That's not fun. Twice.
Do not pee on the electric fence, because, again, that will flow back into the body. And
I did not pee.
You'll only do it once.
I did not pee on it.
Well, that's good.
It was next to the door, and so I tried to get into the door, and so body hit fence.
And you found out it's for real.
I was a child.
Yeah, well. And it was like at the radio station at that time, because, God, we had an absolute... This is why I would be so nervous when we had an electric storm. Because we were the high point on that hill, Here it is,
That's a death
trailer.
trap.
The antenna was about 100 yards behind the trailer.
Shit.
Yes. And it's like, even as far as there had been a hole in the trailer, and what they had done was that they had put a piece of metal plating right there in front of the control board.
That was smart.
And that's why, and on AM, you could pick it up. The sound of it was horrible, and it would pop in your headphones. And I would just tell people, it's like, here I'm in a tin can on top of a hill. I am not going to talk for a few minutes. And I would literally I could not sit still.
Well,
if I'd had any sense, I'd have gone to the car.
Yeah.
But it was a matter of just trying to, stay at your post, do what you got to do. But I could not sit still.
Well, how could you in that situation? Like you said, you're in a tin can.
Yeah. And it was just the mercies of God. Now, with FM, you couldn't, the storm was, of course, we had a whole lot better setup on everything, and including the building that we were in. But it's just the nature of the beast as far as how the radio waves move, that it could be storming and I could have my headphones on, which wasn't smart, but I would never know it. You couldn't hear it like you could on AM.
Right. That's weird.
Yes,
interesting. Because AM is a different frequency than FM, and so I guess it's more susceptible to picking up those things.
Well, again,
or maybe
it's
a different
just
in the
a
sports.
totally different. That would be a discussion for a different time. It's how the waves move,
Right.
and for FM you get a better sound quality.
Yeah, that is true.
But it doesn't with AM. It's incredible because you lose a little bit of sound quality on some of the things, but the signal itself, like it could snake around things, whereas like FM signal, it was like hitting a wall.
Right. But I will say some AM stations, they sound so bad.
Yeah. Well, and again, that was just the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
But if there was a quality to it, unlike anything else.
That is true. There's an aesthetic to it that is...
Sure.
It's appealing to some.
It is. It's what they grew up with.
Yeah.
So is that your final thoughts?
Yep.
So if you've had experiences with the paranormal or supernatural encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, we pray to God nobody has ever had lightning strikes or had anybody in their family, because that's some scary, scary stuff.
Have you got zapped by anything?
You can send us an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com, and that's in the description box. And I'll put the links to Noah here and also to the article so that you can go and look. And it's really grateful that nobody, as far as I know, died from the storm over there in Germany.
Yeah. I mean, that is a blessing.
Yeah.
It really is. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment. Most of all, subscribe. And click that notification button. It likes the affection. It doesn't do much, but like I said, it likes the affection. Check her out on BitChute and Rumble at Werlanda's Cup of Coffee with Scream. And also check her out on X, previously known as Twitter, at Werlanda, COCWS. We were just talking about radio station. It's like a radio station call sign. It's really cool. She posts some stuff on there on her own account, but most of the time she replies to people and then reposts their stuff. Yeah.
I'm trying to be sociable.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be sociable. Some days it works, some days it don't.
You post the videos on Twitter, don't you?
I don't know how that works. I mean, I do put the links.
You just like go to your actual YouTube video and then you click share and then X and then...
I don't do it that way, of course not, because I don't have enough sense to do it that way. I just post the link and then the thumbnail. I don't know if it's the total video. I've never tried to watch it on X before.
Yeah, it's the whole video.
Okay, well.
Should be.
Okay.
Unless you want to post like shorts. What about the shorts?
I gave up on the shorts.
Why?
I don't know, because I felt tired. That's it. I just felt tired. Anyhow, know that you are loved, treat other people the way that you would like to be treated.
Yes.
And Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cup. Bye.
Bye. Have a good